To make this sandwich, we're going to have to make 4 major components: the chicken, the cucumbers, the glaze, and the coleslaw. First, we're going to start with the cucumber, and we're just going to slice the edges off and rub it so we know it's a good cucumber. I don't know, is that a thing though with cucumber? I don't know the science behind it. I've just always been told to rub the ends of it. So we're just going to slice these up and about the same thickness as pickles. So we're just going to pat them dry with paper towels because we want to get as much moisture out of them. And we're going to put them in a bowl and start adding all the ingredients. Now, I don't have the exact measurements of the ingredients that I'm using. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. But as long as you don't go overboard on one ingredient or the other, I think you should be safe. And then I'm going to pop the lid on them. And I'm going to give them a good amount of shakes. So I want that seasoning and that sauce to get throughout all the cucumbers. So the next step is we're going to make the fried chicken. And we're going to start off by making the dry dredge. And for this one, you're going to want to follow the exact measurements. Because I know if you put a little bit of too much of something, it might mess it up. So then just whisk until evenly combined. Next, we're going to work on the batter. And we're just going to combine the dry ingredients again. And then we're going to get 3 garlic cloves. And we're going to grate them down. And just be careful not to grate your fingers, because I got pretty close a couple of times. So we're just going to do a little DJ Skrillex here. And then this kind of gets stuck to the grater a little bit. And you can just use a spoon and to get that part off. The next step was to ground fresh ginger, but they didn't have any, so I'm using the bottled one. So Binger. I went a little heavy-handed, so I'm just going to take a little bit out because I don't want it to be too strong. And then I'm just going to add my wet ingredients. And I'm just going to whisk them until they're thoroughly combined. Now the cornstarch, when it got wet, it did get a little stuck to the bottom of my bowl here. Just use a little bit of elbow grease, and eventually it will whisk all together. So now that the batter and the dredge is complete, we're going to go ahead and start frying up this chicken. So we're going to take our chicken thighs, we're going to give it a coat in the dredge, back then in the batter, and then back into the dredge so we can get an even coat. So now I'm going to fry them up in my cast iron pan with canola oil that's been heated up to 350 degrees. And you want to cook it for about 8 minutes each side or until golden. But a better tip is to get a thermometer so you can accurately read the oil and the inside of the chicken. And the chicken should be cooked to 165 at least. And then put it on a paper towel to dry. Damn, does that look good. It looks like a tasty ass teddy bear.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
So next up is we're going to work on the glaze. And the first step is we're going to finely chop up 10 garlic cloves. And then I'm going to add them to a small saucepan with some canola oil. And I'm going to cook them up for a bit just so the oil can get infused with that garlic flavor. And you want to cook the garlic until it's golden and brown and a little crispy. So once it's crispy and brown, we're going to start adding our ingredients for the glaze. We're going to add some brown sugar. And we're going to add some soy sauce. And so we can get the right consistency, we're going to add cornstarch and water slurry so we can get the sauce nice and thick. So we're just going to let this glaze simmer a little bit until the ingredients start incorporating and the glaze thickens. And then once it's done simmering, we're going to add our gochujang and sesame oil. And then we're just going to mix that into our glaze and let that simmer until it fully cooks down as well. Now, after I let it cook down and I gave it a taste, it tasted a lot like soy sauce. So I went back and I forgot, and a crucial ingredient was the rice vinegar. And this really gave it a big difference to the flavor and to the consistency and the color of this glaze. So don't forget that. So after all the ingredients have combined, you should be left with this beautiful dark red glaze. Now real quick, I'm going to toast up my buns. So I'm just going to butter them up. And I decided to use a brioche bun. Since they are sweet, I thought it would pair well with the spiciness of the sandwich. So we have a little sweet and spicy action going on. So the next step is making this coleslaw. So I'm just going to get a bag of shredded green and purple cabbage and combine it with this kimchi that's already been pre-sliced. Now I wanted to use regular kimchi, but they were all sold out at the store. So I'm just going to add that in there with some Kewpie Mayo, Dijon Mustard, and honey. And you can use as many as you like. And then you're going to toss the salad. And you're going to toss until everything's combined. And then we'll finish it off with sesame seeds. Now that all of our components are done, we're going to start to begin to assemble. So first we're going to get our fried chicken. And we're going to dip it in our glaze and give it a couple of turns. Now we're going to start assembling. We're going to put mayo first. Then the cucumbers down. I'm going to put about 3 of them. And then we're going to put our glazed chicken next. And then we're going to top it off with our kimchi coleslaw. Then we'll just pop the top on it and get a close-up of this sandwich. Oh, mama. This one looks spectacular. So let's go ahead and get this cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Oh my god. Just based off looks, this might be one of the best sandwiches I've ever made. Let's get a glance at that caboose. Oh! Oh my god, the Eiffel Tower. Oh. It's time to try this. Let's give it a bite and grade the results. Just an absolute outstanding first bite. The textures, the flavor, they're all top tier. The first thing that hits me is that cucumber. It's sweet, it's spicy, it's salty, it's fresh, it's crunchy. And then the next, it's the absolute crack of the fried chicken. The outside is so crispy and it's so crunchy. And there's little pockets of just absolute cracking of crunch to go and pair along with the juiciness of the chicken thigh. The glaze, the flavor depth of it, it's so deep. It's vinegary. It's the gochujang is just bringing this immense flavor to it with the sweetness of the sugar and the soy sauce, the saltiness of it. Just that glaze it just pops through the whole sandwich. It really makes it for me. Then the kimchi coleslaw up top, it's bringing in the vinegar and the sweetness and a little hint of spiciness to it. Just truly countering the glaze. It's an immense pairing. And it's legitimately one of the best things I've ever cooked before. Honestly, this sandwich had no business going this hard. No business. Finger looking good. I'm going to go ahead and put this sandwich at the top of my leaderboard and give it a grade of 9.6. Thanks for watching.